Every word Mikel Arteta said on Athletic Club victory, Martinelli's goal, and the emotional side of squad decisions. After Arsenal's impressive 2-0 away win over Athletic Club in the UEFA Champions League, Mikel Arteta addressed the media in high spirits, and with good reason. The result wasn't expected, especially not in the intimidating atmosphere of San Mamés, where the home side posed a serious challenge. In his post-match press conference, Arteta spoke candidly about several key topics: the standout performance from Gabriel Martinelli, the importance of squad depth, and the emotional toll of managing a team filled with talent. Here's a more human look at everything he shared. On starting the Champions League campaign with a win and how depth played a crucial role. What a place to play football. Honestly, it's one of the most electric atmospheres I've experienced. The first 20 to 25 minutes were extremely tough. Athletic came out flying, direct, intense, with plenty of goal threat. But as the game wore on, we grew into it. In the second half, we took control, looked more dangerous, and eventually, the conditions tipped in our favor. We're very happy with the result. On players like Trossard and Martinelli stepping up from the bench. That's exactly what we need. Players who come off the bench and make a real difference. They're just as important, if not more, than the starters. Especially with the way we play, the energy we demand. We need finishers who can keep the level high when others start to fade. I'm so pleased to see that. Even Piero came on for 6 minutes and gave us probably his best spell yet. Christian did the same. That's the mentality we want. Players ready to impact the game, no matter how many minutes they get. On Martinelli's goal and his response to recent struggles. He deserved that goal. I absolutely love Gabby, his attitude, his commitment, his positivity, and the way he's always ready to give everything for the team. He's gone through a tough spell, and I know he's felt that. But tonight, he showed his character. He came on, made a difference, and everyone in the team rallied around him. That shows the kind of spirit we have. When Gabriel Jesus posts something like that, saying how much Gabby deserved the goal, that tells you everything about the brotherhood in this squad. They genuinely care for each other, and they recognize the work being done behind the scenes. On whether this performance could boost Martinelli's confidence moving forward. Absolutely. I knew he would react like this. When Gabby's under pressure, he raises his level. He has such a strong mindset. He's always learning, always pushing himself to be better. I hope this moment gives him the boost he needs to go again, because he's a special player. On Zubimendi's first Champions League game for the club, Zubi was incredibly solid. He managed the tempo really well. As the match progressed, he understood the spaces, saw where we could hurt them, and didn't force things unnecessarily. He was calm, smart, especially in that environment. A top performance. On Athletic Club's performance and the challenge they posed. They're a hard-working, resilient team with a very clear identity. Their coach gives them structure and purpose. That's why the first half was so difficult. They pressed with intensity, made it hard to settle. But I think in the second half, we were more stable with the ball, and that made it harder for them to hurt us. On the emotional challenge of managing players and making tough decisions. That's the hardest part of this job. Choosing a starting 11 means disappointing others. And it's never easy. These players are desperate to play in the Champions League. I see it in their eyes. I saw it today. I looked at the bench, I looked at Leo, I looked at Gabby, and I knew they were ready. And that's the trust we need. We talk a lot about finishers, because in modern football, those coming on from the bench often decide games. Their minutes matter just as much. So yes, we have to manage emotions. But I've been very open with them. They know how I feel about each and every one of them. Leaving someone out? It hurts me. But I have to make choices that give us the best chance of winning. Sometimes I get it right, sometimes wrong, but the standard we demand means everyone has to be ready, on and off the pitch. On the energy at San Mamés and the inspiration it brings. I loved it. Truly. That word you used, inspiration, that's exactly how I felt. The passion, the connection between the fans and the team, the energy, it's contagious. That's why it was such a hard game. But it's also what makes football special. On managing playing time and squad rotation, there's definitely a bit of emotional balance involved. We want everyone to feel involved. And yes, I do take that into account when managing minutes. But ultimately, the goal is to win football matches. Everyone knows that. The amazing thing about this group is how responsible they are, even when they're not on the pitch. They push each other in training, create a great atmosphere, and they care deeply. That's what will carry us through the season. On possible injuries to Victor and Mikel Merino. I believe they're both okay. I haven't spoken to them directly yet, but from what I've heard, there's no serious concern. If anything, this press conference reminded us why Arteta is not only a tactician but also a leader who values people just as much as performance. His words reflect a team culture built on unity, mutual respect, and an unshakable drive to succeed, together. The tactical shift that changed the game. One of the turning points in the match came in the second half, when Arteta adjusted Arsenal's midfield structure to counter Athletic Club's relentless pressing. By bringing on Leandro Trossard and tweaking Martin Odegaard's positioning, Arsenal began to find more space between the lines, something that had been nearly impossible in the first 30 minutes. This shift not only changed the rhythm of the game but also exposed gaps in Athletic's system that had previously seemed impenetrable. Martinelli's goal, which came after a swift and precise counterattack, was a direct result of this tactical clarity. It highlighted both the depth of Arsenal's bench and the level of preparation from Arteta's coaching staff. Squad unity as a competitive edge. One recurring theme throughout Arteta's comments, and something that echoed loudly in the post-match scenes, was the unity within the Arsenal squad. Several players took to social media after the game to praise Martinelli, with teammates like Gabriel Jesus and Ben White publicly showing their support. In an era where competition for starting roles often creates tension, Arsenal appear to be cultivating a rare culture where mutual support outweighs individual ego. This sense of collective ambition has become one of the defining characteristics of Arteta's side. There were also reports that after the final whistle, players gathered in the dressing room to celebrate not just the win, but Martinelli's comeback moment. According to sources close to the club, Arteta used the opportunity to highlight the importance of staying mentally prepared, regardless of minutes played. Champions League statement. While the group stage is just beginning, this result sent a clear message. Arsenal are not just participants in the Champions League, they are contenders. Winning away at San Mamés, a venue known for its intensity and hostile crowd, is no small feat. Few teams leave Bilbao with clean sheets, and even fewer manage to do so with such composure after a rocky start. Spanish media, including Marca and AS, praised Arsenal's resilience, while also noting the tactical naivety of Athletic in the second half. Headlines focused on how Arteta outthought the opposing manager, and how Arsenal's ability to bring on top-level substitutes like Trossard and Martinelli made the difference. Focus shifts to domestic challenges. Back in England, pundits began immediately speculating how this performance would influence Arsenal's momentum in the Premier League. With a crucial run of fixtures coming up, including a North London derby against Tottenham, Arteta will be hoping the confidence gained in Europe carries over domestically. The coaching staff will also be monitoring minutes carefully. With such a high level of performance coming from rotational players, Arteta now faces the kind of selection dilemma every top manager wants, choosing between in-form starters and in-form finishers. Looking ahead. For Gabriel Martinelli, this match may mark the beginning of a personal resurgence. After a difficult few weeks marked by criticism and inconsistency, his goal and overall impact in Bilbao could restore the self-belief that made him one of Arsenal's most exciting young talents. For Arteta, the night was a validation of trust, in his players, in his methods, and in the culture he's building. And for Arsenal, it was a performance that suggests this team isn't just growing, it's evolving. As the Champions League campaign continues, this win will likely be remembered not just for the scoreline, but for the character it revealed.